Pat HD Barry, and you're watching the Fight Channel.
Okay, we're here with Pat Barry. Pat's gonna eat his first ćevapi ever.
Ever, man. Ever since I've been in town, everybody's been telling me, you've got to try ćevapi, you've got to, because I've been going to different places to eat, and everybody's telling me this is a custom and I've got to have it. I had no idea what it was, and I didn't ask, I didn't look it up. Just figured we're just gonna come in for the first time and just order it, and whatever comes out, I'm gonna eat it no matter what. I had no idea it was gonna be a bunch of Arnold Schwarzenegger cigars, like coming out, man. So this is apparently is, what did you say this was? This is a ćevapi, but what is it? It's like a meat kebab, and what's the history? What's the story behind it? It's Turkish?
It's Turkish origin.
Turkish origin.
But it's a traditional meal now here.
Traditional meal.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding, man. This is, you know what? It's as good as it smells, and it's good like it looks, man. It's just, he says don't dip it in ketchup, but I've got to show my American side. I'm sorry. Don't tell anybody.
It's a big cultural no-no.
Hey, this makes anything better, no matter what. Onions, French fries. If I could dip my Coke in it, I would do. But ćevapi, cool with me. I'm gonna eat this entire plate, and I'll come back to y'all in a minute.
Okay, but you now have a natural defense against Mirko's jiu-jitsu. You're eating onions.
This is what I was told. This is how you get out of submissions. So I'm gonna sit in, I'm gonna eat a plate of these. Apparently it stops you from being choked out. I don't know, I'm gonna test it out today though.
Here. It was stuck. You almost lost your eye. What happened? You're training with Mladen Brestovac.
Yeah, training with him and Cro Cop on the very first day. I got poked in the eye, which tore 2 holes in my cornea and had like a partially detached retina on day 1. I landed Sunday, and on Monday evening it happened. Yeah, I had a laser surgery on my eye, not LASIK. Everybody thinks LASIK, not LASIK. I had laser surgery on my eye, where they used the laser to close the holes and something to make sure the retina was attached or something. But yeah, I was wide awake for it. The very first thing I see is an old heavyweight guy with an eye patch on his eye. So as soon as we walk in the look, I go, oh no! And then I turn to the left and there's a woman sitting a few seats over with a patch on her eye with some tape over it. And I'm like, oh, ah! As soon as we walked in the door, we walk down the hallway, we go to get in the elevator door opens, and a lady walks out with an eye patch on her eye. And I'm like sitting there like, this is bad, we gotta leave.
Shane Del Rosario signed with the UFC recently. He's a world Muay Thai champion. You're a top kickboxer. Maybe after his fight with Gabriel Gonzaga, do you consider that it would be a great matchup?
Hey, I mean, it would. I mean, I've seen him before. I know him. I've trained with him for like maybe 2 weeks or something like that when he came down to Death Clutch Gym. Good guy all around. He's got great instincts when it comes to kickboxing. I know he's really good on the ground when it comes to submissions, but he's a kickboxer first, man. So, you know, I mean, kickboxers have pride. We're gonna stand there and we're gonna punch and kick each other until we fall out, man. And would that be a good matchup? I think so, absolutely. You know what I mean? I mean, he has this fight with Gabriel Gonzaga. I have to make sure that I beat LeVar Johnson. But would that be a future matchup that I would be looking forward to? Absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, Shane Del Rosario, like I said, he's good, man. He's crafty. He's got a lot of off the wall things when it comes to his striking. He's not very conventional. He's not by the book, and that's what makes him great and dangerous. So I think that'd be a great test.
Okay, Shane Del Rosario lost his Muay Thai championship fight against Ginty Vrede, young Sudanese guy that died 23 years ago. You used to train with Ginty in Amsterdam. Yeah,
when I was in Amsterdam training with Ernesto Host with Team Perfect, and Ginty was over there for a little while. He came by every once in a while, and yeah, man, he wasn't the world's biggest guy in the world. I mean, he's a decent sized guy, but man, this guy hit like it didn't matter if he punched you with his left or his right hand, or if he kicked you with his left or his right leg. Everything he hit you with was just ridiculously hard. I mean, it didn't make any sense. They had days at practice where he would throw a punch that I would block and have to go, hold on for a second, I can't see. Like, I blocked it. How did you punch me in the glove and my eyes went blind? Or he'd kick you in the body, and even if you blocked it with your forearms, all of a sudden you couldn't smell anything, or you could taste iron. I mean, it was insane. I would sit up at night like trying to figure out what about this guy's body makeup made him capable of hitting that hard, generating that amount of power. Sound like Tyrone Spong. Like, he wasn't a big guy either back then, but something about this guy, I mean, they would punch and kick you and it just didn't make any sense. It wasn't like the kind of punch and kick that hit you and hurt. It was the kind of punch and kick that hit you and it was so hard, it would make you go, what? Do that again. Like, that doesn't, like, it would confuse you. It wouldn't just hurt. It would go past hurt to confusing. It didn't make any sense how they were able to do that.
Okay, you switch, it's obvious that kickboxing is your love. Why did you switch to MMA?
I switched over to MMA, I mean, one, because MMA was taking over the world. Kickboxing just wasn't getting the notoriety that it should get. So MMA was taking over and it was the next big thing. And I mean, it's also a financial decision. Like, because kickboxing isn't getting the notoriety that it does, just the payments just weren't there, you know. I mean, unless you were like the top 2 guy in the world, I mean, financially it just was a better decision. But all around, it's the evolution of sport. It's the next big thing. And if you want to be the world's greatest, you've got to be really, you know, you've got to be ready to take on anybody, anywhere, at any point in time. So that was the next move. So I made the transition over, and it's been cool ever since.
Okay, during your Shaolin kickboxing days, you trained with Shaolin monks in China.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Master Sean Lu, he was a disciple, I think he's like 32nd or 34th generation disciple of the Shaolin monks, and he moved over to the States, and I met him there, and I trained under him for years. We've been to China quite a lot. I trained with the Shaolin monks there, where, you know, I mean, all the things you see in the movies where they have the bright orange flowy clothes and they can fly through the air, man, all that's real. Like, these guys were they're all around. I mean, just what they're capable of doing was just amazing. One, the physical things that they could do, the things they could physically do was just, and it was out of this world. But they say, you know, it was all spiritual, it was all mental. The brain is the strongest weapon in the world. If you can somehow access parts of your brain and you convince yourself that certain things are real and you can do these things, like, they have just a mental ability that's out of this world. They have a mental discipline that is that's unmatched by anyone, and that's the majority of what I got from them in growth, is patience, you know, things like that.
Okay, to return to the Cro Cop, okay, how do you see his upcoming match with Ray Sefo?
And you know what, is his Cro Cop, Ray Sefo, these are 2 of the greatest in K1 ever. There's if you think about K1, if you know about K1, there's like 8, 9 guys who just stand out more than anyone else, you know, and Cro Cop and Ray Sefo are 2 of them. So the fact that they're being matched up to have a fight, that's like an early Christmas to any kickboxing fanatic out there. That's an early Christmas for all of us, man. That's a gift that we've been given with these 2 guys. How do I see the fight going? You know what, man, that's a tough one, because everybody's very well aware of what Cro Cop can do. Everybody's very well aware of what Ray Sefo can do, you know. But Cro Cop is training hard, man. He called me out here. I've been throwing heat at him the entire time that I've been here. He is every bit capable of defeating anybody, man. And it's coming back to, it's not an MMA match. There's no wrestling, jiu-jitsu. He can come out here and he can kickbox the way that the legendary Cro Cop has been able to kickbox his entire career. That's what he's known for, his punches and his kicks. You know, when they switch over to MMA, the punches and the kicks have to change because you have to, you know, worry about the wrestling and the defense and the longer rounds and whatnot. But this is back in the day, early 90s, Mirko Cro Cop, who's going to come by and he's just going to throw punches and kicks until Ray Sefo isn't standing there anymore. This is I can't wait. I'm more excited about this fight than I am about my fight with LaVar Johnson.
You expected to meet LaVar Johnson at UFC in May?
Yeah, UFC is the Fox 3 card. It's May 5th, LaVar Johnson. LaVar Big Johnson is his name. He's 6'5", 260 pounds. I think his record is like 16 wins with 4 losses. He's got 4 losses by submission, similar to me. And he's got 16 wins, and 15 of his 16 wins are like first round knockouts. So this is a heavy hitting, big giant guy where his arms are bigger than his legs. If he punches you, it's over with. I mean, he hits really hard. And he's rarely seen round 2. He's not a wrestler and he's not a jiu-jitsu guy, so we're pretty much the same person, except he's taller. I'm cuter, but he's taller.
But he managed to knock out the Mexican.
He was able. I was there in Chicago. He was his first UFC fight. He's been in Strike. He came over from Strikeforce. He made his UFC debut against Joey Beltran, the Mexicutioner, who I fought. and was able to knock Joey Beltran out in 2 minutes of round one, which has never been, Joey Beltran's never been knocked out. Joey Beltran's never been knocked down. And he hit him with like 3 or 4 uppercuts, and Joey Beltran fell out unconscious. And when that happened, the whole arena just was, I mean, shocked. Like, this has never happened. Joey Beltran is known for, this guy can take a beating. I kicked him in the head 5 times, kicked him in the leg 36 times. I mean, I hit him with everything, and he kept coming. That's what he does. He's a living zombie. And LaVar Johnson was able to punch him in the head and knock him out. That's unbelievable.
You told me earlier that you started to doubt in yourself after that fight with Joey Beltran.
Oh yeah, that's the very first time. My entire career, I've had 100 kickboxing matches and 10 MMA fights. In my entire career, the Joey Beltran fight was the very first fight that I actually ever started doubting myself. I mean, round one, I know everybody's tough. He's a really tough guy. He can take a lot of damage, but I'm Pat Barry and I hit really hard. Round one ends. I'm like, okay, no problem. Round two, I'm like, all right, I know he's tough. He can take some damage, but I'm Pat Barry and I hit really hard. Round two ends. Round three, I'm thinking, okay, he's tougher than most people that I've ever seen. But I knew that coming into this fight. I'm Pat Barry, I hit really hard. Halfway through round three, I started thinking, maybe I don't hit as hard as I say I do. Maybe he's, this is unreal. I mean, I kicked him in the face 5 times. Face, 5 head kicks, 36 low kicks, unblocked. They all land. I kicked him in the legs so many times that my legs started swelling up, and I couldn't, like, I was on crutches for 2 weeks after the fight. And this guy didn't even have bruises. He was walking around the day after the fight doing squats and getting kicked in the leg and running up hills, and it's just unbelievable. Like, that's the very first time and the only time in my entire career that I've actually been completely, I've got no explanation, none. No explanation, I can't give you, Chet Congo knocked me out after I'd already knocked him out twice, and I was able to get over that one. That's just, okay, he threw a punch and landed. Joey Beltran, I've got no explanation at all as to how he was able to take what he took from me.
You mentioned Chick Congo. What happened there? Another zombie?
Yeah, man, there's something. Yeah, I hit Chet Congo in the head, knocked him down, hit him a lot. He got back up. I knocked him down again. You know, hit him a lot. He got back up, and I walked towards him to finish him. And next thing you know, I was waking up. I woke up and thought I won the fight. Like, I woke up and was like, yeah, I hope he's all right. Did I do too much? And they were like, no, man, you're out. I was like, I'm not out. He's out. What are you talking about? I'm out. He's out. Is he okay? Did I kill him? You know, and they're like, no, man, relax. You're on the ground. I remember the doctor to my left. I didn't know I was laying down. I thought I was still standing up. The doctor to my left said, can you do me a favor and try to sit up? And I remember I stopped and looked at him and was like, how am I going to sit up if I'm already standing? You, the worst doctor ever. How did you get this job? You should be fired, man. And then my senses started coming back, and I felt the ground, and I realized, oh wow, I've never been knocked out before. That was a really weird feeling, man.
But we have a lady waiting for you in the United States. What can you tell us about her? She's mean.
Her name is Rose Namajunas. She's an athlete. She's Lithuanian. Her mom and dad are Lithuanian. She was born in the States. She's a fighter also. She's got a fight coming up March 17th. This will be her 5th fight, amateur, and then she's going to turn pro after that. She's a killer, man. Like, she's a killer. I know a lot of guys like, oh man, my girlfriend's the best, but this is no joke. This girl she's a literal monster. Like, she's fighting for potatoes, or like, if I don't win, I don't eat. I mean, it's just you can tell, like, she's all around. She's just an athlete. She's a cross-country runner. She comes from a family of wrestling. She's black belt in karate, black belt in taekwondo, started doing kickboxing and excelled. She plays piano. She's like a straight A student. I mean, she's all around. She's a really strong. She wrestled on an all-boys wrestling team in high school and was winning. But it's the prime reason why I've never been in a street fight. My entire 32 years, I've never been in a street fight. Why? Because if you look at her, you would never think she would kick you in the head and kill you.
Thank you, Pat. That's it. It's nice to see you. It's nice that you visit Croatia. I hope to see you again.
Yeah, you're right. I'll definitely be back, man. Especially go eat some more ceviche. What was that? Ćevapi. That was the ćevapi. There we go.